Hi everyone, my name's Charlie and I have only ever lost one PIP case in like 5 or 6 years. So that's claims, the initial claims, reviews, mandatory reconsiderations, which is their posh word for appeal, and tribunals, which I hate. I hate tribunals, they're awful, I don't like doing them, I keep getting drawn in. I've been wanting to do this for you for ages, right? You've already clicked on this so you know what it's about. I'm going to explain to you about the aids and what points they're worth, because so many of us, by the way, I suffer from chronic illness as well. I wanted to make this video so posh and snazzy for you, and I just, honestly, I just don't feel well. I'm just, you know when you're ill all the time, but I feel really crap at the moment. And a friend reminded me that you don't care, it doesn't need to be a posh video. So I'm filming this in bed, and I'm going to put photos in of what I'm talking about, because I physically cannot get, I don't have the energy to show you these aids with me demonstrating them at this time. I will do another video in the future, but I'm going to have to stagger recording it because it's just too much for me because of my fatigue levels. And by the way, I really do appreciate that you don't care if I'm filming in bed. You don't care if I look like shit, because I physically don't have the energy so long as I'm providing you value. And this is important. Okay, on the points, which are going to come on the screen now, preparing food. B is needs to use an aid. If you have to sit on a stool or a chair or a posh actual perch chair, it doesn't matter. You don't have to buy an aid from a mobility shop for it to actually be an aid. Does that make sense? If it's something that you use to help you do something, it's an aid. Anything that actually helps you complete whatever you're doing is an aid. Something that an able-bodied person wouldn't use. I want to give you the best examples as we go. If you've got any questions, you can email me, details in the description. Just, you can ask me quick questions and go, does this count as an aid? Because, you know, every now and again people say something to me and I think, shit, I didn't think of that because it's not something I use, when actually I think it does count as an aid. So I'm just going to give you the ones that I know result in points. So any of these, any sort of seat that you have to sit on, can be anything, can be a bar stool, breakfast stool, anything, 2 points. Okay, it's 2 points. If you're doing a claim, you don't need to put photographic evidence in. Okay, you don't, because it's about the assessment on how to win, how you communicate your issues. If you're doing a mandatory reconsideration and they didn't give you the appropriate points, yes, in your letter, put a photo of your aid showing your house in the background, or preferably you on it. If it's a tribunal, absolutely, you need to show this as evidence. On preparing food, if you can only use a microwave, then you don't need to insert a picture of you using a microwave. We all know what a microwave looks like, right? They're pretty standard. But I do like to show what we sit on, because they vary. They're very unique to us. Every single person I've spoken to, we've all got something different that we sit on, because perch chairs are quite bulky, but they are good because they're a good height and the seat is tilted at an angle to help you get going again, hence why it's called a perch chair. When it comes to eating, so if you look at the points, you can see B needs to use an aid or an appliance to take nutrition. That is chunky cutlery. So the easiest one is chunky cutlery. So there's this type of cutlery, which you can just get on Amazon. I don't like this. It's like 30 quid. It's really expensive. Then I've got the stuff that I use, which I don't admit this to myself because it messes with my head. It is for toddlers, right? I call it my happy caterpillar cutlery. It genuinely makes me smile. And not only does it make me smile because the caterpillars are smiling at me, it makes me smile because it's so easy on my hands. If you suffer from fatigue and are exhausted, I cannot tell you how much easier it is to eat using this cutlery. If your hands hurt, this cutlery, which is really cheap, I think it's like 8 quid, this cutlery is amazing. It made eating so much better for me. Because you know where a lot of us will have food that we can pick up, or we have food that we don't really have to chew, like rice, stuff like that. This cutlery means that I can, when I'm well enough, I can eat stuff that I need my spoonful. I don't use knife and fork. I ain't got the energy for it. I use either the spoon or the fork. But I cannot express how much it changes your life. By the way, if there are aids like this cutlery, it's all linked in the description. So all this, if there's anything that you can get, I've linked it in the description below. That's it for aids when it comes to eating. Managing therapy. Everyone gets confused about this, right? This section is about how long someone assists you. It could be someone helping you take your meds. It could be someone helping you with physio. So most people lose the points on this, right? But the really easy one is look at B. So on B, it says needs either to use an aid or appliance to be able to manage medication or supervision and prompting. Most of us need prompting, right? But the aid is simply the pill pot. It's the pill pot. Now, if you suffer from brain fog, fatigue, depression, anything that it means that you do forget things or you get distracted, ADHD, anything like that, you need a pill pot. OCD, don't get the pill pot to start with, because then it's just another barrier of something you've got to touch. All the rest of us that fit into those categories, you need a pill pot. The amount of people I talk to that eventually confess to me that they don't think they're taking their medication correctly because they're not organised, they don't have a pill pot. It's just one point. Now be careful if you're ordering these, because you get different ones, and the link I've got in the description below is the good one. So sometimes the square lid doesn't fully seal, and then your medication goes soft and will dissolve. Like if you try and pick it up, it just disintegrates in your fingertips. So the links below are what's called affiliate links, which is where I get a couple of pence if you order it. You don't have to obviously order it so that I get a couple of pence, but make sure you check you get the good stuff. All of this stuff I've tried, it is good. Another thing that you could get a point for is this is a pill popper. Like if you can't get the pills out of the packets, you can use a pill popper. I do have one. I haven't actually tried it yet. That'll be a different video. And if you've got loads of drugs, if you spend hours putting all your medication into your pill pots because you've got to take them AM, lunchtime, PM, contact your GP. Your pharmacy can do it for you. It will arrive in a pill pot, all organised, especially if your hands are hurting. Just use the system, because we've got to get you taking the meds right. Washing and bathing. This one's really simple, and this one frustrates me because the amount of people I talk to that don't realise that they get points on this. If when you are getting in and out of the shower or the bath, you are holding on to something, that is an aid. So if you're holding onto a sink, a lot of people seem to hold onto the panel of the shower itself. If you're holding a handle, obviously a handle is what you want. Like when people hold onto the shower doors and things like that, I'm like, oh, we need to get them a handle. So if you're holding onto something to get in, or if you are having to sit to wash. So for example, that's the category that I'm in. So I have to sit to have a wash. So some of us have to sit on the edge of the bath. Some of us have to sit on the toilet. But we want to be as close to the sink as possible, because we don't want to have to get up to rinse the flannel. Right, so a lot of us sit on the edge of the bath, or as you know, whatever your bathroom is. It depends on our bathrooms, doesn't it? This is why it's unique to all of us. If we're having to sit to wash, we're using an aid. 2 points. Look at the points. 2 points. Okay, you've got to be clear. Again, remember what I said about evidence. If this is your initial claim, you don't need the evidence, right? Because it's all about your assessment. If this is you're appealing, you absolutely need photographic evidence. If you are doing a review, I would put photographic evidence in. You can attach it at the back of the pack, and I've got videos on that. If you're doing a tribunal, do you need evidence? Fuck yes, you need evidence. Tribunals are awful. The goal of my channel now is to get you all off tribunals and get it right at the beginning. Just get it right at the beginning. Let's save the government money. Save ourselves mental trauma. Get it right at the beginning. Going to the toilet. Look at the points. This one should be really easy. Now, since I've done the videos on going to the toilet, and we'll put links above, since I've done these videos, there seems to be a big change in people winning based on being honest about their toilet situations. And it does seem to be a bit harder for men. Like, I don't know whether it's due to periods or what it is, but it does seem to be a lot harder for men to be honest about this. None of us like it. Don't get me wrong, doesn't matter what gender you are. None of us like talking about this. Going to the toilet. Simple aids. Raised toilet seat. When you're going to the toilet, and you're sat down, are you having to hold on to something to get back up? Are you having to hold on to a radiator to pull yourself back up? A sink? The bath? A handle? Have you got a frame around your toilet? Is that what you're doing to get up off the toilet, or to lower yourself onto the toilet? Have you got a commode in your house? Have you got what someone lovely called, Charlie, I have my piss pot. It's like, okay. Have you got pots around your house? Have you got a pee bucket in your bedroom because you can't get to the toilet quick enough? Are you using pads? Have you got this stuff? It's all aids. It's all aids. When you go out, are you wearing a pad? And guys watching this, you are terrible at wearing pads. Like, women will wear a pad, and I get it's because we've had periods all of our life, but guys will just avoid going out. Guys, you can wear pads as well. You can just go into the pharmacy. You can speak privately to the pharmacist, because I'm not sure what pads are really good for guys and what are better for women. I haven't gone in. I'm going to investigate for us. But guys, you could just wear a pad if you're going out, if you're worried. If it's bladder, it's a lot easier. You know, you can order things from Amazon. It's subtle packaging, but stop. You don't need to hide in your house. You don't need to hide in your house. Just wear a pad. Get yourself some more freedom. Okay. And it's points. So make sure you communicate it to PIP. Now that we're talking about incontinence, I'm going to do, because I'm shit. This is how I've remembered. I'm so shit at this. I do a newsletter. It's dazzling. I write it every week. I do write a bit about PIP in it. I've put a bit about PIP in it because of, clearly that's what people want from me. But I just write about my life. It's more up to date than YouTube if you're interested in it. There's a link in the description. Okay. I love that because I was talking about being shit at stuff that I remembered in my newsletter. I think that's amazing. I'm quite happy to tell you about it in this format. I don't know why I'm nearly crying. Okay, let's move on. When you get dressed, if you have to sit on something, I think now you understand, if you sit on something, that counts as an aid. Doesn't matter what it is. I'm sorry, I am having to look at my piece of paper. Like, look, this is what I'm looking at. So I've made notes, right? So buttons. This is what people tend to struggle with the most. Buttons and socks. Right. We're going to insert a photo of an aid for your buttons. Now, don't start arguing with me. I can hear you going, Charlie, I don't wear buttons. PIP is about being able-bodied. If you were wearing buttons before you were chronically ill, we're supposed to be able to wear buttons now. Okay? So I know you're not wearing buttons because you're wearing baggy, oversized clothing that is easy to get on, and most of us are not changing our clothing. We'll wear the same clothing for a couple of days. I get it. But if you were to wear buttons, which I am going to do soon because I want to get a posher photo so I can change the pictures you see on YouTube, because that's for quite a while ago. I think you figured that out. I'll need to use the aid, or I'll get my mum to do the buttons. Socks. Socks are evil. They're evil. All of you with real back issues. All of you with breathing issues. When you bend over, you get breathless. All of you lot, all of us with arthritis, socks are evil. If you go, but Charlie, I just don't wear socks. You're supposed to be able to wear socks. So there's a couple of aids that you can use, which we'll put the images in now. I do have links to them, but be warned, I haven't tried these yet. If you can see on top of there, see that bag there? I've got 2 in there, and I really wanted to try them for this video, but I'm just not well enough. I literally don't have the energy to do it. I've got the links in the description of what I think are good ones, but I haven't actually tried them yet. I will do another video when I try them, probably in about 8 or 9 weeks, because that was codename Silky. Because when Silky comes back, we'll do the video on AIDS, because I'll be better then and I'll have more time. I'm going to combine these two. So this is communication and reading. Yeah. I liked that though, because it's truly, because I sound like I'm talking to someone. Yeah. So that was Silky. So because I just chat to you, like you're here. So yeah, someone said to me in a meeting the other day, "You're famous," and I was like, I looked behind me. I'm not. Yes, I know I'm on YouTube, and that for some reason, if we see someone on our screens, we class them as famous. I'm someone that chats to myself. I'm basically someone that talks to myself. I'm that weird person you pass that is chatting to herself. Famous is Beyonce. That's how I explained it. I was like, no, I'm just someone that talks to herself. Right, back on track. Communication. Say, for example, someone's had a stroke, or they suffer from severe autism and they're non-verbal, or they're only verbal with someone they are most comfortable with, like their mum, for example. This is where you get points with communication. It says about using an aid or appliance to speak or hear. Doesn't count. Hearing aids don't count. Hearing aids are the norm. Like, it doesn't count if you're using a walking stick. Just because you're using a walking stick doesn't mean you get PIP. Like, how many times do you see hikers using those stick things? They are not, clearly they're able-bodied, right? So here's my example. Stephen Hawking used a communication aid to speak. Yeah, it's that type of thing. And you know what I was saying about it, say, for example, someone's had a stroke, they could use that, or the totally non-verbal or mainly non-verbal people with autism. So I was just thinking then, there was nothing, I'm not looking at anything out the window. That tends to move into the communication support category. So it's not often I actually meet people that get the points in this section so far in my career. And I want to do we'll separate reading and understanding. Okay, so reading and understanding. This section is more for people that have been diagnosed with dyslexia. Codename Elegant Lady. She cannot read if it's black text on white paper. I'm looking at the paper like this. She cannot read this. She has to have, look here, she has to have certain colour paper to be able to read. Or people that have it where it has to be verbal. So if you're in that category and you have some sort of posh thing that you use that then reads out to you, like so many people haven't gone to university but have to use these aids. That is points. That is, 2 points? It's pretty much 2 points for aids, right? So can you see how your life, if you're in pain or you're struggling with severe fatigue, whether that is fibro, arthritis, depression, whatever reason you have got that fatigue, we naturally adapt and use aids, okay? Now, for those people that are worried about all the fraudulent people using my channel to claim money, it's PIP's job to figure out if we're telling the truth, right? I'm not doing their job for them. My job, as I see it, is to help you that is truly suffering with chronic illness, that just needs a break, that just needs a bit of help to make it easier. And that is what this funding is for. So I hope this helped.